now. I want to speak to the greatest gifts in this room, and before you all look around to see who the greatest gift is, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about the breadth of your imagination. I'm talking about the possibility for compassion that you have to use for the well-being of so many young people who permit you to get alongside them and work with them as informal educators. I want to speak to your energy and commitment. I want to speak to a profession of paid and maybe voluntary people whom wider society doesn't really appreciate very much. But yet your experience and your insights are now the very insights that wider society, wider civil society, wider public institutions, and wider political society needs to examine and learn from. How do people from very homogeneous places that most of us have been brought up in, places where we've been with the same people until you get to know them well and you find out they're very different, but how do many of us, being used to sameness, embrace and work on the theme of difference? To be sectarian isn't just a possession of Protestants, and I'm an old Presbyterian, so I want to make that point. To be racist, to be homophobic, to be sexist is at its best, at its worst rather, to deny others different to me. And such actions are no basis on which to build equality because they fail to acknowledge different others. And in this modern world, if we can go maybe to the next one, we wish to remain separate and apart at our peril. And yet, as the economy diminishes, there will be partisan drivers. There will be drivers that force us or encourage us to seek the safety of being with our own. And to be with our own is to become dead. Because separateness is never benign. Separateness always conceals under the surface our hostility, our threat, and our violence to others different to us. Look at the experience of the African-American community in separate but equal education, where they ended up even worse. Look at the position of South African black community under apartheid. Look at the dynamics of first and second class citizenship that fueled the civil rights movement in Northern Ireland. Separateness is never benign. Separateness is the enemy of good relations between different citizens from diverse backgrounds. And good relations, which is part of the inclusion agenda, depends on practical experiences of being justly treated, of being acknowledged as being equal, and of being embraced as though you are valuable. And those, for me, as a very aging, former detached street worker, those to me are at the centre of your practice. And if they're not, find another job.